Hey guys, it's Maddie or Books with Maddie, and today I am showing you what I'm going to read in June. So it's actually my second time filming this video because I am totally changing my TBR. I filmed this video early, and in light of recent events, I would like to change what I'm going to read this month. So I'm going into this month completely non-obligated by any other books. So I don't have any books that I'm currently reading. I finished all of the books that I was reading in May, so I am about in the middle of any books as I go into this month, is what I'm trying to say. So with it being Pride Month, I'm going to integrate some books with LGBT representation, as well as I would also like to highlight some authors of color, as well as I'm going to be reading some books featuring people of color and written by people of color. So with that said, I'm going to get into my June TBR. The first book that I'm going to be reading in June is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I posted on my bookstagram that I was reading this like 2 months ago, and then I never ended up picking it up and reading it just because of school and everything. There was that whole Harry Potter readathon that was going on bookstagram, and I was planning on participating in that. I read the first book along with everybody else, and then I just kind of didn't have the time to get into the second one. So I'm going to be buddy reading this with my friend Will, and I've already, because it's like June 2nd now, I think, so I've already gotten into it a little bit. I'm a little over 100 pages in. So far, I'm loving it. It's like very nostalgic and wonderful. So yeah. Second book that I'm reading this month is another buddy read. It is for Morgan and I's book club. It is my pick for this round, and I picked Normal People by Sally Rooney. I don't really know a lot about this book or like the plot of it, so I can't really describe it to you. I like to go into books blind. I know that there's a romance in this book, and there are two people, and I think they like went to school together or something like that. I'm not really sure, but I'm really excited to get into it. I've heard really wonderful things about this book, as well as it really gets you in the feels. And I'm very excited I think I'll probably watch the TV show. Even though I hate book to TV show adaptations, I'm still planning on maybe watching it, depending on how strongly I feel about the book. Another book I'm planning on reading this month is Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. I read this Savage Song last month, and so I'm continuing with the duology this month. I'm planning on buddy reading it with a friend from Bookstagram, and I'm very excited about it. I don't have it with me. I have ordered it from Book Outlet, so it is currently on its way to me, but I'm very excited for when it arrives. Okay, getting into some Pride Month reads. I only have 2 for this month. I've been trying to kind of tackle my physical TBR, and I don't have a lot of contemporaries or things like that, which is usually where the majority of the LGBTQ contemporary representation takes place. So I'm trying to expand my bookshelf in that way, but I've also been trying to tackle some books that I've had on my TBR for a really long time. I'm also trying to participate in, there's a Bookstagram Pride event that's going on that is hosted by one of my really good friends, Julia, or at the Rogue Commander, and I will show you the posts that are going along. I'm going to be trying to participate in the bingo board, which is right here, right now. There's also a photo challenge, and they're doing 2 read-alongs, a fiction and a non-fiction book. I'm not able to participate in those, unfortunately, but I'm going to be doing the bingo board to the best of my ability. The ones that I'm trying to fill out are YA book, which is probably the easiest category, but it was the one that I was most easily able to fill, and I'm doing goodness gracious. I'm doing Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I think it's McQuiston. Casey McQuiston. I heard so many good things about this book. I have not picked it up despite my love for romance and enemies to lovers, because something about this like royalty trope is like rubbing me the wrong way, but I'm really excited to pick it up and hopefully enjoy it. It's on, I can't show it to you because it's not here. It's in the mail. So it's not here. It's coming in the mail as we speak. It's supposed to get here, what's today, Tuesday? It's supposed to get here Thursday, so we're waiting for that. The other book I'm reading is a book about the other category that I'm trying to fill is a book about gender studies, which is a passion of mine as I'm studying in school. And I have Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay. She's also a author of color, so that's another reason why I picked this book. I've already started it. I'm like 50 pages in. 47 pages in. I am loving it so far. Literally, I did not want to put it down last night. It was so good. It was so good. I love how she has a commentary not only about gender, but also about obviously sexuality, but race. She does a lot about, especially in the first section that I've read, she's speaking a lot about privilege and acknowledging your privilege, which I think is really important in our current political climate. So yeah, I'm really enjoying this, and I highly recommend for not only learning about gender and feminism and sexuality, but also about race and privilege. I really recommend this book, especially in light of what's been going on. I think this is really a really important book. Along that note, I'm also going to be saw this book recommended on a list of books that we should be looking into right now that feature people of color or are written by people of color, and the one that has been on my shelf for the longest time, and I read it in 8th grade, but I have such a fuzzy memory of it. It's To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Race plays a really big role in this book, and I've been needing to reread it for a really long time. I'm hoping it'll educate me a little bit more and allow me to see into a different perspective, especially because this is such a different time. I know this is a very moving novel, and I'm hoping that it will help me fully understand some of the injustices that are going, as well as educate me on a perspective which I don't experience. The last book on my TBR this month, I haven't really planned out the rest of my TBR. I'm hoping that if I have time this month to look at some other books with LGBTQ representation, if I have the money to buy them and things like that. But the last one that is on my solid TBR is Hidden Figures by Margot Lee Shetterly. And this book follows, I want to read the synopsis because I'm not really sure. Okay. A group of exceptionally talented African-American women who are originally math teachers in the South's segregated public schools, and it follows their stories as they participated in some of NASA's great successes. It chronicles their careers over nearly 3 decades as they faced challenges, forged alliances, and used their intellect to change their own lives and their country's futures. So this is really interesting to me. It's a little bit of historical fiction, which, as you know, is something that I really enjoy, and really excited. I know there's a movie. This is the movie cover. I have not seen the movie yet, but I'm really excited to after I read this. And I love that it also features really strong women, as well as has a lot of commentary about race. For the last portion of this video, I just wanted to highlight some really good books that I've read recently that feature people of color or are written by people of color that I think are really important. I posted a picture on my Bookstagram featuring some of these, but I wanted to give them a proper shout out on my channel. So the first one is Becoming by Michelle Obama. This was one of my favorite reads last year. It totally changed my life. I like how eloquently she spoke about the 2016 election, as well as her experience as being a Black woman and the prejudices that she had to face. The next book that I want to highlight is The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. I read this year for my women in literature class. I know I've talked about this book a couple times on my channel, but it really was one of the most moving novels I have ever read. It follows a girl named Pecola, a young Black girl. She is basically psychologically destroyed because she does not have a reading method for interpreting the world around her, which is full of racism and sexism and prejudice and discrimination, and it's a heartbreaking tale and so important. The next book is White Teeth by Zadie Smith. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this one because I've also talked a lot about this book on my channel, as well as I'm going to highlight it a little bit more in my wrap-up, which is coming out Saturday. But this does talk a lot about race and a lot of different races, but it does take place in London, but the discrimination and prejudice you can see is mirrored in our own country still today, even though this took place in the 1900s. The last one that I wanted to highlight is a poetry short story collection, and it's When You Ask Me Where I'm Going by Jasmine Carr. This collection is so pertinent right now. I feel going to be rereading some parts of it this month. It talks about so much, and it's so moving. There's a short story in the middle of it that really touched me. I don't enjoy poetry that much, but this was still very moving. All of the poetry was so... I don't want to keep saying the word moving because I feel like that word has been overused by me, but it is so just I don't know. The way she uses words is so good. I know that's not a good description of what I'm trying to say, but this book was really good, and I especially like the short story. I don't usually reach for poetry, but if she comes out, goodness gracious, it's falling out. But if she comes out with a short story collection, I will be first in line to buy that, because I think that her short story writing was exceptional and I wanted the story to keep going. I wanted to know more. I really enjoyed this. It came out last year and I highly recommend it, especially for what is currently going on in our country. I think this collection is very, very relevant. I think that's all I'm going to talk about today. I was debating whether or not to post this week, but I decided that I will, just because I can highlight some of these authors and books that can help educate and promote the ideals that we need to be adopting in our day-to-day life. I don't really know what else to say. I don't think there's anything that I can say that will make what is going on better, but I do want to say that I'm here, I'm educating myself, I am listening, I am supporting, I am learning new things every single day. I am constantly trying to be a better ally to support Black individuals and all people of color. I am trying to better myself. I am acknowledging my privilege. I am doing everything that I can to try to somehow remedy what is going on right now. My thoughts and prayers are with the protesters and the rioters and with all the people who are just being crushed by grief and fear right now. I know there's nothing that I can say that will remedy the injustices that are occurring in our country, but I am praying and I am supporting and I am learning new things. And I'm not sure if this jumbled mess of words does anything to make anything better, but I am here for all of those out there who are struggling and in fear and in grief and who are doing everything that they can to right these wrongs. This systematic violence has to end. So please educate yourself, read from authors of color, donate if you can, and just lead with love. Remember that these injustices are built on hatred and that we should combat these hatreds with love. I hope you all are staying safe and staying healthy. Remember that you are supported and you are loved. Stay safe, and I will see you in my next video.